Right, I make it 7 o'clock. Good evening, members. We have no members of the public. Good evening, members of the public and officers that are online. Welcome to the Planning Applications Committee for Thursday, the 6th of October. I refuse to say how many days to Christmas, but it's not very many. First and foremost, I don't think we have any members of the public, so we will miss out on the fire. Apologies, please. There are a few. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. So I've received apologies from Councillor Peter Barnett, Councillor Cliff Betton, Councillor Robin Perry, Councillor Victoria Wheeler, Councillor Helen Whitcroft and Councillor Valerie White. And we do have two councillors substituting tonight. So Councillor Tedder is standing in for Councillor Wheeler and Councillor Deach for Councillor White.
Welcome, your Deputy Mayor. It's a while since we've seen you at the Planning Committee, so welcome return to you. Members, are you happy that I signed the minutes of the last meeting? Thank you. Thank you. The declarations we will deal with on each item, which takes us through to item number 1 on page 7, the Gordon Murray HQ Windlesham, and we are joined by Mr. Peplow from Surrey County Council for any questions relating to the highways matters. Declarations, there was a site visit, which unfortunately I couldn't make, but thank you, Mr. Rahman, for organising that. Are there any other declarations to make, members? Councillor Alloway.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. 39 Commonfields is my residence on the agenda tonight.
Yeah, we'll come to that at the appropriate time. We're on the Gordon Murray application first off. No other declarations, so Mr. Rahman, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. This application relates to the variation of conditions associated with application reference 200747, granted 9th February 2021, for a phased development relating to the construction of a new sales, manufacturing and heritage building, test road, 2 new vehicle access points, associated parking, and an outline application for the construction of two new buildings for Gordon Murray HQ. As the application seeks a grant of permission relating to a major scheme application, and it is a departure from the development plan, as it is a major development within the Greenbelt, it therefore falls under the Council's scheme of delegation and is to be reported to the Planning Applications Committee. This application specifically relates to the variation of Condition 22, highway improvement works to the junction of Hyams Lane and Chertsey Road, and the removal of Condition 24, the construction of a temporary bridle way to the existing emergency access. Following the publication of the report, an update has been made recommending 2 additional informatives 19 and 20, recommending to the applicant that the removal of any vegetation is to be replaced with appropriate soft landscaping with no net loss of biodiversity, and recommending that the construction of any major highway works falls outside of school term time to avoid disruption to the highway network during these periods. As we can see from the plan, to the south of the site where the 2 orange arrows are, it's not very clear, are shown is the approved new mains access and the emergency access via the existing bridleway. This is an existing image of the Chertsey Road Hyams Lane junction. And this is an existing image of the bridleway to the Hyams Lane that is to be used for the emergency access once the site is operational. Shaded in red here was the agreed temporary bridleway enlargement to the existing bridleway, which will serve as emergency access to the site. Condition 24, which sought the construction of this temporary bridleway, is proposed to be removed, as the existing bridleway route is considered unaffected. The Stage 2 road safety audit carried out by Surrey County Highways has recommended that the existing bridleway be maintained and the temporary diversion is not required. This shows the agreed highway works as part of Condition 22 for improvements at the junction of Hyams Lane and Chertsey Road, requiring the cutback of vegetation to improve visibility and the widening of the junction at the Bellmouth. The variations before us have been predicated by Surrey County Highways advice, who have since the grant of the original permission carried out a technical review of the Section 278 works and a Stage 2 road safety audit. Condition 22 was originally recommended by Surrey County Highways to improve the ratio of flow to capacity and improve visibility at the junction in the longer term in response to increased number of vehicles using the junction at peak times. They now recommend that the work suggested as part of Condition 22 would be beneficial once the development is fully operational, where there would be an increased number of vehicles using the junction at peak times. The road safety audit also raises issues that the proposed widening of the junction at the Bellmouth may in fact have a negative effect of reducing visibility displays due to vehicles being aligned closer to the left side curb. However, the removal of vegetation remains recommended. Given the site would not be fully operational until Phase 3 of the development, it is considered reasonable to vary the conditions so that the works are not required to be implemented until prior to the first occupation of Phase 3, which would also give further time to the Surrey County Highway Authority to review the junction improvement measures. Officers recommend the grant of permission. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Members, any comments? No. I've just got a couple of points I'm in discussion with the Vice Chairman. I believe they've been covered anyway. Can I just say that concerns over the sightlines on the new road, and I think that has been covered. The construction traffic, yes, it's under the informative, but I think it was also the direction of the construction traffic, given the nature of the road, and that, I believe, has been covered in condition, well, it's part of the Transport Management Plan on condition 24, to avoid the traffic, not just to the school times, but the use of the narrow roads, something that I know is of concern to a number of the councillors here. And the hedges are replacement of soft landscaping of a suitable measure, and that has been covered under the informative covered on the informative in the update. So on that, are there any other comments? If not, can I have a proposer and a seconder for the recommendation? Councillor Tapper and thank you, members. That is unanimous. Councillor Tedder, did I see you? No, right, sorry. We'll go to the Ms. Willis. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. So, actually, would you mind raising your hands again? Sorry, thank you. So, Councillor Gordon, Councillor Lewis, Councillor Morley, Councillor Noble, Councillor Black, Councillor Alloway, Councillor Tapper and Councillor Ratteram voting in favour. And the Chairman, Councillor Hawkins.
Against? Abstain?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I find it ridiculous what's been suggested by Surrey County Council. They've picked up little bits and actually the whole road wants looking at, so I'm going to abstain.
Thank you, Councillor Tedder. So that has been carried. I've lost track. Is it 9 with 1 abstention? I'm trying to think how many here at the moment. Yep, 9 with 1 abstention. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rahman. On to the next item, which is my item 2 on page 35, 15 Mildren Close, Frimley Green. Declarations, Councillor Black.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I have been in correspondence with the applicant. I've been in correspondence with neighbours regarding the application. I've visited the site of the application, but of course I come here with an open mind.
Thank you very much. Any other declarations? Looking at the screen. No. And Ms. Kimber, thank you.
Thank you. So, this application has been heard by the Planning Committee at the request of Councillor Black, and there are no updates. This is the application site outlined in black, located towards the end of a cul-de-sac. To give a little background for this application, in 2020, planning permission was granted for extensions and a detached garage. The extensions have been implemented. As such, there is an extant permission for the erection of an outbuilding on a similar siting to the current proposal. This application is for the erection of a single-storey outbuilding to be used as an annex ancillary to the existing single-family dwelling. So the image on the left shows the application site when approaching from the entrance of Middle Close. The image on the right shows the site from the end of the cul-de-sac. And the outbuilding would not project forward to the principal elevation. So as can be seen from these photos, the proposal would not have a prominent position in the street scene, as the majority of the built form would be screened by the dwelling or by the retaining wall. The image on the left shows the existing dwelling. These images demonstrate that there is sufficient space to the front of the property for 2 vehicles to be accommodated on site in accordance with Surrey County Council Highway Authority guidance, and the access point to the property is not proposed to be altered. So this plan shows the location of the proposed outbuilding within the site. There'd be a minimum separation distance of 1 metre from the existing dwelling. And these are the proposed floor plan, roof plan elevations. There would be an increase of 2.2 square metres in floor area from the approved outbuilding. The proposal is for the use of the outbuilding as an annex for a dependent relative. There are 2 conditions recommended which would restrict the future use of the site, limiting the outbuilding to be ancillary to the host dwelling and for there to be no subletting or subdivision of the plot. The application would have been recommended for conditional approval, however an appeal has been lodged for non-determination. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, that rather took away my line that we are here to set our views on the application, although it has now been passed to the Planning Inspectorate, and our comments will be forwarded to the Inspectorate accordingly. Members, are there any comments in relation? Councillor Black.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I called it in for further scrutiny as the previously approved planning application was explicitly conditioned not to be used for residential purposes to prevent it from being severed from the main dwelling. But I'm very satisfied that the officers have done a thorough job in assessing this application and recommending conditions to achieve the same end. So I have no further questions or comments.
Thank you. You're referring to condition 4, I believe. I've got it written down here. Yeah. Any other comments, members? No. Can we have a proposal and seconder? Councillor Black, and a second. Councillor Tedder, all those in favour of officer recommendation as amended? That, members, is unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Kimber. On to item number 3, 39 Commonfields West End. I'll give a group declaration as the applicant is a fellow councillor who is about to leave the chamber. Are there any other declarations to make on this item? No, Ms. Fielder, thank you.
Sorry, this application is for extensions to a residential property being 39 Commonfields in West End. The application site there is outlined in black. If I bring you to the block plan, and I will try and use the pointer, This property, number 37, is a single-storey bungalow. The application site is a two-storey dwelling. It has low eaves and it's gable-fronted, fronting the highway. And the neighbour here, number 41, is largely an identical property to the application property. This picture here shows the application property. As you see, the gable front fronts the highway, and the property that we can just see in the distance, that's almost the sister property, number 41 there. This is the rear of the property, looking back towards the rear elevation. There's this sort of pergola structure that extends off of it. So that's the pergola structure, and then there is another extension beyond that as well. Here we have the application property just off centre there, and that shows the relationship with the single-storey dwelling at number 37. And the extension that we're looking at will actually run along the side of the application property where the carport is presently. This shows the relationship with the nearest windows at 37. So here we have a bedroom window, and this window is that serves a WC. In terms of what is existing on the application site, so this is the front of the property towards the road. This is a garage which will be demolished to make way for the extensions. And then we have single-storey flat roof extensions on the property already, and this element here. This element here is part of the proposal insofar as it will be re-roofed as a part of these works. So what's proposed is this single-storey extension here, running along the side elevation of the property and then extending 0.75 of a metre beyond the rear elevation. This dining room, if we recall the previous plan, had a roof with lots of panels. That's being replaced with this flat roof element such that it will match and marry in with what's proposed and what is already there. And then we'll have two roof lanterns providing light below. There you have the proposed elevations. So from the front elevation, this is the extension that's proposed with the flat roof element behind it. From the rear, this is the amended roof form. Now, this application is recommended for approval. It does follow from a previous approval from February this year, where a larger extension was actually proposed and was agreed. That's not going ahead, and we're now looking at a smaller scheme. The application is recommended for approval with conditions. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Members, any comments to make? No. Can we therefore have a propose and a seconder for the recommendation as amended? Councillor Noble and Councillor Lewis, all those in agreement? Thank you, members. That is unanimous. Thank you very much. Can somebody ask Councillor Alloway to come back and join us, please? Thank you, Councillor Noble. Now on to the item on page 71. Yeah, can't read my writing. The planning enforcement update. Before I start, I'm going to abuse the privilege of chairman and thank Mr. Stevens and his team on behalf of residents of my ward for the prompt action that's been taken recently. It's been much appreciated. Mr. Stevens, please.
It's Bex talking first. I'm Bex Green. I'm deputising for Julia. So thank you, Chair, and good evening, members. I'm here to provide you with an update on the team's performance since Julia last reported to this committee in August. So the reporting for this period is between the 1st of July and the 23rd of September. During this period, we received 41 new referrals in comparison to 51 in Q2. The highest number of referrals related to the Windlesham and Chobham area, which was 11, followed by Mitchett and Deepcut at 8. The most common allegation related to unauthorised operational development, which was 18 cases. We served one enforcement notice, and that was relating to Easy Grass Hillings Nursery at Chobham Adventure Farm, Chobham. This notice has been appealed and is currently with the Planning Inspectorate by way of public inquiry. As detailed in the report, the service has struggled due to lack of resource, but thankfully, since last reporting to the committee in August 2022, we now have 2 contractors and they're working out really, really well, which is positive. Sadly, my compliance role has been carried out, but as a reduced level, obviously being interim deputy manager, but work is still being carried out. So for my work, between the 7th of July and 6th of September, there was 97 commencements on our building control records. Having gone through all those 97 commencements, only 3 of these commencements required site visits and further work investigation, i.e. confirming works have commenced because it's very, very close to their 3-year expiry date, or obviously they haven't discharged all their conditions. So 3 out of 97 I thought was actually very good. The knock-on effect from our resourcing issues has meant that the uniform project has not progressed any further, although I'd like to provide members with assurance that the uniform matter is now being prioritised, and we've now had meetings taking place to take the matter forward. Despite the challenges we have faced, we have closed 100% of cases in July, August and September within 90 days of the date opened. So we are taking positive steps again, and hopefully we'll keep taking positive steps. Does any members have any questions?
No. Thank you, Ms Green. I had you down first. I said you down second, but Mr Stevens now. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you for the positive praise as well for the officers. They are doing their absolute utmost at the moment to make sure that we're addressing everything as expediently as we can. I just wanted to give an update on staff structures. As this committee is aware, we have struggled in the past, and I know that Julia and Bex have sat here and told you that we are struggling to find contractors. And when we find contractors, we're struggling to bring them into the building in the first instance, let alone retain them. And that's been a real challenge for us. So what we are seeking to do is remove that reliance on agency workforce and put a more permanent structure in place. As it currently stands, we've put forward a structure that provides a planning enforcement team leader, a principal planning enforcement officer, a senior planning enforcement officer, and obviously the compliance officer role as well. That's found within existing resource. Because it results in changes to the reporting lines, it is subject to a consultation with affected officers, and our HR service are currently conducting that, and that will terminate on the 21st of this month. Once that consultation process is completed, and subject to the outcome or feedback that we provide, that's provided by officers, the intention then is to go to market and recruit to those posts on a permanent basis. And that will clearly resolve some of the issues we have had with repeated turnover of agency staff, and obviously reduce the cost because interim staffing arrangements do come at an escalated rate. That is it. I'm quite happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much indeed. Members, do you have any questions to ask? No. Thank you very much indeed to both of you. Those watching on the YouTube, we will now be closing, as we will be going into the confidential item to discuss matters which may or may not involve legal action. So therefore, the press and public are excluded from the meeting during consideration of agenda item planning enforcement priority cases, as it involves the likely disclosure of exempt as defined in paragraphs 1 and 3 of Part 1 of the Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972. And that relates to information relating to any individual, information relating to the financial or business affairs of any particular person, including the authority holding that information. Members, are you agreeable that we close the meeting on that basis? Thank you very much.